Hi everyone! I wish to share with you a demo of our platform uTrigg. Just a small disclaimer before I will start. The whole presentation of our platform and its functionals will be provided on a test account because I can't show any data of our clients because it's super secured for us and we make the whole precautions for that. So that's why the whole demonstrations will be in this account. That's why some interesting names you can see along my description to you. So as you can see here in dashboard, we have a quantity of submission during September that we were making for one of our clients. Also, we can go to this kind of sections where is all web forms are gathering. And here will be the archive of list those surveys that we created before that. But nevertheless, let's go dive in and click create new in order to go to the particular section where we can create this survey. But before we even dive into such a classical things that we have as web form creation, I will show you a little bit some insights that we will get afterwards. So you will have a picture what we will get eventually. So this is kind of a new behavioral analytics that only our company has, and we will come up to that just a bit later. Okay, so right now, as we know where we want to go to this kind of a new type of analytics, we are ready to set up a total new web form just in order to get to that. So what we have here, we have, for instance, title of our web form that will be something amazing and awesome that we would like to share with our audience. Here will be description that we need for ourselves. And also, if we want to change this kind of title to our clients, we just do as much easy as that. Let's go further. We have a lot of the settings here, like alias that, for instance, could be replaced as a meaningful word in our link afterwards. I will show you after that. Also, some kind of text. For instance, we need sales, we need mark for marketing, this kind of particular web form. If we do need to have some calculations, what is all about? Data collection is in those cases that there is not a wrong or right answers. You just need some feedback, some customer experience from your own clients in their own words. So in this way, it's called qualitative analysis. By checking this calculation, you need to provide some points because you know what is right answer or what is wrong answers. Mostly it's for some educational purposes that you would like to use this kind of thing. In order to make this calculation works, you will also need to go to this subsection and enter some kind of categories. This will be as sum of points. One particular respondent will answer to those of them, and you could name, for instance, okay, it's like well done, and there will be some more longer description for this particular users. If they will get, some other people will get in this range of points, you set for them, okay, you're no good this kind of type of material, and like the higher points, the higher and more motivated sentences you could share with your people. Okay, so let's come back to this settings that we have. So all these calculations is all again about quantitative analysis. Let's return to data collection, because for us it's not important to have right or wrong answers, just get answer from our users. A lot of other sections that we have here, it's more additionally one. Only for some cases like corporate education they could be used. In most cases where our tool is good enough for, it's for marketing purposes, it's not important to use this kind of segment of settings. Also, we could publish, unpublish the whole web form. And also interesting thing, if you're working with different regions, for instance, we work with MENA region, so the whole alignment of the text should be strictly right to the left. That's why we have this kind of functionality. Let's go next. So also the whole web form could be for anonymous users or for registered users only. The whole list of questions could be on one page or a step-by-step question like well-known competitors of ours, but we are totally better in that. We have lots of other functionalities that you can dive into and look into them a little bit later. What is also important, as we also work with data, it's super important for us to bring you as a customer flexibility, and for you have this kind of leverage to bring information to your customers. So with this pop-up, it will appear before even the survey starts. And here will be the heading of this pop-up and some information like why for you are gathering this information. But what is super important, we bring for you such kind of possibility where you can even bring some specific purposes where your users have possibility to check like if he or she is open, that you will store her or his data for these purposes only, not for this one, or whether they are open to share the whole list of the data because they totally agree with those purposes that you're sharing, you're gathering this data for in order to make marketing activities or more accessible things to bring to them, or recommendation, etc. So this functionality helps you to do that. Just in order to, within this demo, I suppose I will turn off this pop-up just in order it will be more easier to show. Here is other things of what will appear after the web form will be submitted. The user will see show thank you page or show just some click, some button again, or redirect it to some custom URL. Let's leave this kind of thank you page. Settings. Also, we have such thing as a show timer. If yes, based on the whole web form or survey, if that's anonymous. Or based on the single question, if there is some strictly question that needs to be like put it into frame of the time. A number of questions there could be or could not, and lot of others. Also, we could even choose the coloring of this particular web form that could be seen in a dashboard, as you can remember that from this page that we started from. So this coloring will be appear there. Let's go to another section. Here is the list of the questions. Just in order to spare our time, I will show you some standard questions that we have here. Of course, we can edit all of those as I showed on the example of the title before. Next section, we have also such thing as layouts that no other competitors has. We could do in such way, as you can remember, step-by-step functionality and the whole appearance of web forms of the questions are also in our platform. But nevertheless, if you wish to put every question on the one page, it's pretty much easy as that. And we can do also such thing as putting our submit button into another column that we would like to see it. For instance, it will be, I suppose, more relevant to see it in the second column. And let's go to the final thing that we need to do with our web form, that it will be very pleasant to interact with to our customers. It's coloring and the whole theming and branding. What we have here, if we wish some kind of image that will be put on the background, it's as easy as that. You could see different pictures that we have in our library. Also, you can upload your own if you have, according to your corporate style, some kind of guidelines according to that. Or you can use also patterns. We have also our own library about such thing as patterns, and also you could use your own pattern. What's next interesting about the theming, we can use such coloring of a background of the whole web form. Let's see what it can. We can use different colors. As you can see, there is 3 of them, and with clicking just one button we can become a designer. Let's see. Oh wow, amazing stuff. What else we can do? We can add to that such an amazing thing as styling of the border between this part of the web form and the background. We will put some pixels. I think coloring is not the best for this web form. Maybe this one or something like that will be more efficient. Let's put it in this way. And such an amazing thing as different rounding corners. As you can see, they have different angles, and that's also something that some of the brand books of the companies need to have. And lot of other things that we have here. I will just spare that for next rounds that you will dive into by yourself. Conditional rules. We have possibility to add different skips of the logic if the person chooses that he or she is choosing this kind of answer. After that, he will get new type of questions or even series of questions, or skip some of them. What we will go there, then we will also need to just click Save Form. And as easy as that, we will have our web form created, and it will appear instantly in the whole survey list, as you can see. Right now, let's go and interact with this web form. In such way, this link will be shared to your customer. As you remember, I shared information with you when we were putting settings to this web form, there was some keyword market. So here it appears just in a URL that we would like to, or otherwise it will appear just some numbering, like randomly set point of URL. What is important, the whole URL could be shared with your end customers or employees by such channels as SMS, as email, as social media, etc. So right now I'm just ordinary user. I'm just seeing, okay, here is a title, here is some meaningful and interesting question, here is a variance, and I will put those kind of answers. I will bring my information here. I will choose this kind of variance. Okay, so I'm like thinking a little bit about those answers and send to the administrator. The user will see this thank you page. As you remember, I add this kind of pluses. What the administrator will see, he will see instantly, just as easy as that, he will see this kind of response that came from one of his users. Let's go to results, and we can see particular response of one user. After that, we can dive otherwise to see results, like what the user answered to the whole web form. As you can see, the region, geodata, device information, confirmation pop-ups, etc. Nevertheless, all those information is in our demo, as you remember, account. So for some particular segments, for some particular clients, we could eliminate the whole, for instance, cluster of the data because it's not meaningful for them. So that's why I emphasize that it's only for demonstration purposes, and pretty much the all set of the data that we can gather. Restrictions can be made for each account particularly. Okay, so regarding these all answers that we have to our web form, different accounts, for instance, within the corporate, you have different analytics. They could communicate with each other about this particular respondent and his responses, because something like very strangely that they see in this particular response. So they could communicate about this respondent and his response. It's one thing, and another thing, they could also communicate on the whole web form of the whole respondent. Let's come back to the whole results. What we see here, we could go and see much more detailed results about what the user attitude was, because as you can remember, our analytics, it's something that we have as a unique feature. As I propose you a little bit at the beginning of our video, that I will share you the whole thing of behavioral analytics that we have here. So that was my manner of interaction with our web forms. Web forms, it could be websites, it could be anything else. I will come to that a little bit later. Let's take into details and dive a little bit into this particular case as web forms and behavioral analytics. So as you can see, I showed no rage, well, like no anger in my voice you can hear, in my manners, in my actions. And here is the data that our analytics provide to us as owner of this account. Here is the level of my energetic. Here is also the efficiency that I provided to this survey. Also, here is my unfocusedness. It's a bit, higher level, and distraction is also at a very big level, because I was speaking with you, with my phantom person that I'm imagining that I can hear right now. So nevertheless, you can see that different behavioral patterns, they could be from person to person, from time to time could be differ, because as I showed you in the beginning, here was another response from another anonymous user, and that's everything that we need, just to share with him or her a link, and that's it. No social media links, no video, no audio, no other things that we are gathering. So let's come back to our behavioral patterns. Also, what we have here as average numbers according to this data set, as it was only one submission, so it overlaps. Median, it works at the same thing, but if we had much more, 1+ submission, it will definitely give us much more interesting information. Let's go to another interesting analytics that we have, as it's more and super sophisticated thing that we have, and we have even more access and even more things to have into that. We have also such thing as user activity. So it's like a statistical analytics, where you can see where was the mouse movement of your users and where are the clicks, and that's kind of analytics that pretty much in many times used for websites, but not for web forms, where the interaction of user is the most concentrated one. Another thing that we have, it's a dynamic recording of how your user interact with your web form, like second by second, step by step. I will click one button and you will grasp like instantly. Just see that. Here you can see the whole movie, how the person was interacting with the whole web form. Ta-da! Okay, let's move next. So what we have other things here. We have visualization. It's all about regarding understanding the feelings of your users that were filling the web form during different questions. For instance, question 1, question 2, 3, etc. And different states of human being, for instance, unfocusedness. So the person where the whole data set were more focused on those questions and like less unfocused here. And you can add another type of manner, another, and compare to each of them. Also, visualization can be in this way, presenting some quantity of submissions that you have with different web forms. An interesting section that I need to share with you as well, it's a publishing section. It's like the ways how you will provide the whole information that you would like to get the responses from your end customers. It's first of all, it's of course a link. The second one, for instance, if you need some information that will gather from your office or somewhere offline, you could create your own and even customize it QR code and download, as easy as that. But nevertheless, if for instance you will need to track those data, for instance you will have Office 1 and this kind of QR code will be near the door, like near the entrance, and you will have this kind of QR code. If you have Office 2 and it will be near something else, let it be in this way. So you could create this thing and use all those parameters. Another thing where you can be used and brought our tool to your end customers is just integrating with your website, and it's not something super complicated. We already done a lot of things for that, and it will appear just some panel widget. It could be some kind of like inline form. Just in a second you will see it, so the user will have a smoothless experience with your website and he will not be needed to go elsewhere. Here will be the web form just within your website. Or you could use a pop-up functionality of integration with your website, and this pop-up can be customizable here as well, and different namings, different titles, different slogans, etc. Can be put here. As you can see, here is a lot of other settings that we will not dive into. You have possibility afterwards that you will create your own account and can play with it. Anything that you will need to in order to integrate uTrigg with your website, just to copy this code and put it into your website, just share with your web developers, etc. Or just from a click to this button. That's it that you will need, and it instantly appear to the whole website or those pages that you will put this code to. Another way of sharing with your respondents or clients or employees with this web form, beautiful web form that you could create. It could looks like that even. This type of sharing the whole web form can be an AMP format. It means that it will be instantly open the whole web form just in email of your customer. Here you can see the whole code that could be put by you. So if you're interested into raising conversion into your email, just bring me a line. I will share you the whole information about AMP, super rocket science technology from Google, what I can share you instantly during this talk. What other things we have that no other web form builders has is permission-based things. So you could create different roles of users. So for instance, Jane, Kate, and somebody else, they're administrators, and other range of people. It could be one person or it could be like hundreds of them. They have some restrictions. For instance, they can only create web forms, create the text and the visualization to the surveys, but not to see results. It's super important because we need to restrict all of those things. And another thing that no one has is that when you have, for instance, web form with the list of 10 questions, only in our platform you can make permission-based thing based on the fields. For instance, like 8 of them, you could provide answers to these 8 questions to, for instance, managers, but only each of them, like 10 of those questions, could be seen on administrators. So this kind of functionality, permissions, bring you possibility to restrict on the base of the those kind of questions that is not relevant to this category. For instance, from first to 8 questions, there could be some questions regarding marketing materials, and in 9th and 10th questions, something about law things or something regarding insurance or etc. or taxes. So you don't want to share those personal information with those managers, and only with uTrigg you really can do that, because we treat the survey as data source, not just some tricky nicey thing to do. We have all of classical things in terms of teaming and a lot of other things, but we totally put our most attention into using as surveys as a data source, and making huge and deep analytics that no one has, as well as this behavioral analytics that I shared with you from very beginning and emphasized right now about that, because it's some unique thing and our own R&D that we have, and of course visualization that need each and every company. Let's go a little bit further. So why, for instance, you need all of those behavioral analytics? As you have a lot of users, you will need to segment them in a totally new way. So what our platform and the whole methodology uniqueness is all about is treating with customers from totally other perspective, from perspective how they feel themselves. So in this case, you can create like ideal customer or ideal cluster of customers, name it ROT, or you can name it other name. It's like emerging name of the whole cluster. And for instance, for us, it's important to get cluster of those people who hesitate even just from small numbers, like from 0 something, and to the biggest number. Another segment, Tom, they have rage, at least something small, and to the very end, and super efficient. It's totally regarding from a business what kind of segments you will need to have. So that's why we bring possibility to create your own segment. You can go there, click name, make some coloring, because for us it's super important that you will have possibility to work with this data afterwards. And let's dive into what also we could do with all of these segments. We could use in order to change the flow of communication with each of the segments. So segment Rob can get this web form. After he will bring his attitude that he is the same stable hesitation manner, he will get response. He will get next survey with another set of questions. If he will becoming more angry, we shared with him totally another web form. So that's very important thing to get. From just classical web forms, we get psychological state of the people. After that, we have segmentations for them in order to make smaller clusters of those people, but nevertheless clusters are a list of, or huge list of different people. There is much easier for marketing person to work with those segments. And after that, the whole communication is a flow of different web forms that will provide to each of the clusters some more relevant information. So in such way, we bring possibility to more personalized communication based on the behavioral patterns. And all of this functionality is all about making this flow happen for the business that would like to get raise of retention for his from his customers, and raise of retention on online if he will use our behavioral analytics with his website only. Thank you for your attention, for your time. Any question, I would be glad and just marvelously happy to hear from you. Bye bye.